um, Julius Caesar. The place is a crowd of people in the street leading to the Capitol. Among them Artemidorus, the soothsayer, flourish of trumpets. Enter Caesar, Brutus. Act 3, Scene 1. Enter Caesar, Brutus, Cassius, Casca, Decius, Metellus, Trebonius, Cinna, Mark Antony, Lepidus, Popilius, Publius, and others. Now, first speech Caesar to the soothsayer. Soothsayer means fortune teller. To the soothsayer. The ides of March are come. Look how insensible and how useless this Julius Caesar is, how backboneless he is in a way, taunting the soothsayer that you only said that in the ides of March I'll get killed, and see that ides of March has already come. ides of March means 15th of March. মানে বিরাট যে বলেছিলে আমি মরে যাব, ides of March has already arrived. First speech told by Caesar to the soothsayer, the ides of March are come. Soothsayer, Caesar, but not gone. So the soothsayer is telling that Caesar, don't be so overwhelmed, don't taunt me in this way. The day is not yet over. The day has not yet ended. You are still residing on that day. Artemidorus, hail Caesar, read this schedule. Schedule means document or letter. So Artemidorus is another person who's trying to caution Caesar against his impending danger, and that's why he is trying to hand over a letter to him. He will, in this scene, you will notice that he'll continuously plead, literally plead Caesar to so that he reads the letter for once, in which he must have written something about the conspirators. But Caesar is such a kind of person, his destiny was, he was about to die only. This is also a proof that whenever a human being is destined to have something is written in his destiny, however hard he tries, he can't evade that, his ill fate. Same happens, Artemidorus continuously tells Caesar to read the letter, the document. See, hail Caesar, read this schedule. Decius, this is Decius, Brutus. Decius, Trebonius doth desire you to overread at your best leisure. This is his humble suit. So Decius is offering his letter. Artemidorus is offering a letter to Caesar in which some kind of caution is written against his impending danger. On the other hand, Decius Brutus also trying to offer a letter to Caesar. And what is written in that letter? Trebonius requests you to read his petition at your leisure. তো ডেসিয়াস ব্রুটাস বলছে যে ট্রেবোনিয়াস তোমাকে এইটা পড়তে বলছে তোমার লেজারে, মানে whenever you get time. Trebonius requests you, মানে they are giving, Artemidorus is giving one letter, Decius is trying to give another letter. Now Decius is also requesting Caesar to go through the letter for once. Artemidorus, O Caesar, read mine first, for mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar. So Trebonius is again trying to caution Caesar against the impending danger. He tells Caesar, O Caesar, read mine first, amarta age poro, For mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar. So Artemidorus, oh Caesar, read mine first because it concerns you personally. এটা তোমার ব্যাপারে, তোমার একান্তই তোমার ব্যাপারে. It is it this my letter out and out concerns you personally, and that's why you should read my letter first. Caesar, what touches us ourselves shall be last served. Now look at his callous behavior. Caesar is telling he's overconfident, he's arrogant, and blah blah blah. And that is the reason why he'll meet his death. As soon as we will advance in this scene, we will find that he is overconfident. He at times he uh, humiliates also people purposefully, and he is sometimes arrogant also, and because of this arrogance he lose everything. What touches us ourselves shall be last served. Money, the what pertains to me shall be attended to the last of all. Money, the thing that concerns me, what touches me shall be read last of all. Mane the thing that concerns me would be read at last. আমার ব্যাপারটা শেষে দেখবো. মানে I am a king. My purpose of living is for the people. My life is for the general masses of Rome, and that is the reason whatever concerns me the most will be read at last, taken into consideration at last. Artemidorus, delay not Caesar, read it instantly. So Artemidorus is continuously pleading, Caesar, please read, delay not Caesar, read it instantly. Next, Caesar, what is the fellow? What is the fellow mad? Now she is insulting him, calling him mad and all. Is the man insane? That I am continuously telling him that I won't read the letter first, which concerns me the most. But still he is pleading me. Now Publius, Sira, give place. Hey, fellow. Sira means fellow. Give place. Caesar, what urge you your petitions in the street? Come to Capitol. Now he's making rules. Caesar is telling, why are you? What are you so foolish as to present your petitions in the street? Come to Capitol. So he can't understand the graveness of the situation. Publius is another conspirator, and that's why he's telling Artemidorus, fellow, get out from here. Now Caesar is telling Artemidorus that why you are so foolish and presenting your petitions in the street. Come to Capitol and give. Why are you trying to give letters and petitions and documents and schedules on the street? Come to the Capitol and give it to me. Now Caesar goes up to the Senate House, the rest following. Now Popilius, I wish your enterprise today may thrive. I wish your enterprise tonight might prove successful. So Popilius is telling that to Cassius, see, I wish that whatever you have got to do tonight means assassinating Caesar. Look at the treachery of this person. Popilius is telling to Cassius, hey, I wish your enterprise today might prove successful. I wish your enterprise today may thrive. Mane, may be successful tonight. Mane, what kind of wishes he has got in his heart? We wish something good. Rather, he is wishing that they become successful in killing Caesar, in murdering Caesar. Cassius, what enterprise? Popilius? Now, so this also proves when Cassius is asking Popilius, what enterprise, what plan you are talking about? Means Popilius has already come to know about their conspiracy, and that's why But Popilius was not informed by the conspirators that some they are going to hatch out some uh, conspiracy that night. But still has come to know about the conspiracy. That's why he's asking. That's why Cassius is telling, "Hey, key plan re, mane like that. What enterprise, Popilius? Popilius, fare you well, mane. Bye. Mane, he has already told that may you succeed, so bye." Now, Brutus, what say what said Popilius Lena? So Brutus is asking Cassius, hey, Cassius is who? Cassius is the brother-in-law of Brutus. And that's why Cassius is telling, what does this Popilius Lena tell you? Mane Brutus is also understood that something is wrong, and that's why Cassius was telling anything to Popilius, and that's why he is telling, what did Popilius Lena say? Cassius, এবার Cassius কি বলছে দেখা যাক. He wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered. So he says, I'm frightened that our conspiracy has got discovered, it got revealed. He wished today our enterprise might thrive, means he wished that our enterprise tonight might be successful, and afraid that our plan has been revealed. Now, Brutus, look how he makes to Caesar mark him. So, Brutus is cautioning Cassius that দেখো দেখো ও কিন্তু সিজারের কাছে যাচ্ছে, লক্ষ্য রাখো, কিছু বলে টলে দিতে পারে. See, Brutus, look how he makes to Caesar mark him. See how he goes to Caesar. So keep a good watch on him, observe him closely. Cassius, Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I'll slay myself. Slay মানে আমি নিজেকেই নিজে মেরে ফেলবো. I'll kill myself. তো কেশিয়াস বলছে কাস্কা বি কুইক, বি সাডেন মানে বি কুইক, ফর উই ফিয়ার প্রিভেনশন, বিকজ উই আর অ্যাফ্রেড দ্যাট somebody might stop us from doing this grievous uh, heinous crime, sorry, not grievous, heinous crime. তো এই heinous crime করাটা থেকে somebody might prevent us from doing it, somebody might stop us. Casca, be ready to stab Caesar suddenly, because we are afraid that we might be stopped. Brutus, what shall we do? If our secret is known, either Cassius or Caesar will die. তো Cassius ব্রুটাসকে বলছে, কাসকাকে বলছে, you stab Caesar suddenly, because we are afraid that we might be stopped. এদিকে ব্রুটাসকে বলছে ক্যাশিয়াস, দ্যাট কি করবো বলো, what shall we do? If our secret is known, either Cassius or Caesar shall die, মানে হয় আমি মরবো নয় সিজার মরবে আজ রাতে. কেশিয়াস নিজেই বলছে কথাটা, হয় আমি মরবো নয় সিজার মরবে. ইফ উই ফেল টু কিল হিম, আই উইল কিল মাইসেলফ. তো আর কোনো উপায় নেই, ইদার আইল হ্যাভ টু কিল সিজার or I'll have to kill myself if we fail in our venture. Brutus, Cassius, be constant. Popilius Lena speaks not of our purpose, for look he smiles and Caesar doth not change. তো ব্রুটাস কেশিয়াস ইজ টেলিং কেশিয়াস, ব্রুটাস কেশিয়াসকে বলছে ও হত ভেবো না, দেখো সিজারের ও কেমন হাসছে, আর সিজারের এক্সপ্রেশন কিছুই পাল্টায়নি. যে বলছে ব্রুটাস, কেশিয়াস বি ফার্ম, আরে ডোন্ট বি সো অ্যাফ্রেড, বি ফার্ম, বি কনস্ট্যান্ট মানে বি ফার্ম. পপিলিয়াস লেনা ইজ নট স্পিকিং অ্যাবাউট আওয়ার প্ল্যান্স, because see he is smiling and Caesar's expression has also not changed. So this proves that he hasn't uh, disclosed our plan in front of Caesar. Cassius, Cassius কি বলছে বা দেখা যাক. Trebonius knows his name, For look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way. So Trebonius knows this time. Trebonius knows that the time has come for him to do his part, because you see, Brutus, he is Mark. Now, Brutus, Bolo the look, he smiles. Popilius Lena is smiling, so has, and Caesar's expression has also not changed, so don't be so worried. এবার কেশিয়াস বলছে ট্রেবোনিয়াস knows his time, for look Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way. So Trebonius has been ordered, or Trebonius has been told, or he has been ordered, mane according to their order, Trebonius will take away Mark Antony out of the way, because Mark Antony is a very close associate of Julius Caesar. He is a very faithful associate of Julius Caesar, and that's why this Mark Antony should not be there when they will should not be present when they'll assassinate Caesar. That's why they have assigned the work to Trebonius. And what work Trebonius has been assigned by them? They will take away Mark Antony from that place for some giving some alibi or something. See, Trebonius knows his time, for look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way. Trebonius knows that the time has come for him to do his part, mane do his work, because you see, Brutus is taking Mark Antony aside. Now Mark Antony and Trebonius gone. Mark Antony and Trebonius leave the place. Now they are advancing towards the conspiracy. See what happens next. Decius, where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar. Now Decius is asking, where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and make his petition to Caesar now. Now they have another plan. In one hand, they have assigned Trebonius to take away Mark Antony. On the other hand, what they have planned? They have assigned Metellus Cimber to go and make some appeal to Julius Caesar. These are all drama. A drama is about to get created. A fake show, fake conversation they'll create, and let's see how it gets created. Where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar. Let Metellus Caesar go to Julius Caesar and make his petition. Brutus, he is addressed. Press near and second him. So Brutus is telling he is ready. Metellus Cimber is ready. Crowd near and support him in this. So let's go and start together the fake drama. Now let's see what that does. Now Cinna. What Cinna is telling Casca? You are the first that rears your hand. So Cinna is cautioning or reminding Casca that Casca, you will have to stab Caesar first. But later on in the play, we will come to know that Caesar has been, say, 37 times or something like that. He was stabbed. And amongst those times of stab, the first stab Casca is supposed to make. Casca, you are the first that rears your hand. Raises your hand. You are the first to raise your hand against Caesar. Caesar. Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress? তো সিজার বলছে, but Caesar is oblivious to all these plans. He is not aware that such kind of heinous crime is about to take place and he'll be killed soon. That's what Caesar is, but without knowing anything, is telling what wrong has been done that Caesar and his Senate have to remedy. Caesar is asking that is there anything to be rectified? কি ভুল হয়েছে যে Senate has to have make some remedy? He is asking. Metellus. Mane Caesar can also understand that these people have crowded in front of me to tell something. So he can, that's why he's telling that what's the matter? Why all if you have crowded? Now, Metellus, the first hypocrite has come. Metellus. Metellus kneeling to Caesar. Now, see this uh, hypocrisy they are going to show the level of hypocrisy. Notice they are kneeling to Caesar. Metellus is kneeling, and what he says, let's see. Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Simba throws before thy seat a humble heart he nails. নেলস মানে হাঁটু গেড়ে একেবারে বসেছে সিজারের কাছে, দিয়ে বলছে মোস্ট মাইটি, মোস্ট পাওয়ারফুল, মোস্ট হাই সিজার, লুক অ্যাট দ্য, হি ইজ প্রেজিং সিজার ইন eloquent terms. Metellus Cimber is ready to throw himself at your feet most humbly. So অতি ভক্তি চোরের লক্ষণ, what we call popularly, that's what here it is happening. Caesar, I must prevent thee, Cimber. These crouchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood, that will be thought from the true quality with that which melteth fools. মানে ফুলস হার্ট মেল্ট হবে। I mean sweet words, low crooked courtesies and base spaniel fawning. Spaniel একটা কুকুরের নাম আর ডগ। So don't মানে base spaniel fawning, crouching like a dog, এইসব এখানে কিছুই যাবে আসবে না। Thy brother by decree is banished. So your brother has been banished. So Metellus' brother has been banished from the place by law because he has committed some crime. And Julius Caesar has given that punishment to him, and that's why he is making a drama kind of thing. He is pleading, he is kneeling down in front of Caesar, and he is asking him to exonerate the crime, exonerate his brother. Exonerate মানে দোষ হইতে মুক্ত করা, মানে to exonerate his brother from the sentence he has been given, from the punishment he has been given. See, to think that, but Julius Caesar is telling that I will know, I am not an ordinary man, that if you behave like a dog and if you keep on crouching like a dog and like a base spaniel, if you keep on barking and crying, it will not melt my heart, because my heart is not an ordinary man's heart. I am a king after all. I don't exonerate anybody's wrong for any valid, if there is no valid reason. Mane I punish people for, because there are valid reasons, and I exonerate also people because there are valid reasons. No crying, no behaving like a dog, no pleading will melt my heart. I spurn thee like a car. CUR car. Dog. Spurn মানে কি? আমি লাথি মারি কুকুরের মতো তোমাকে। Car out of my way. No, Caesar. যা, স্টপ করে ফেললাম। এটা আর ঠিক হবে না? ক্যান্সেল করব? না, আলাদাই হয়ে গেল। হ্যাঁ, এটাগুলো রেকর্ড হচ্ছে। Now what happens? I must prevent thee, Simbar. So Caesar is telling Simbar, wait, Simbar. Metellus Simbar is nailing to Caesar, and his brother, means Metellus Simbar's brother, has been banished due to some reason, and that's why he is pleading Caesar to exonerate his brother. So he is telling, I must prevent thee, Simbar. Caesar is telling that, wait, Simbar, I must prevent you from doing all these silly things. These crouchings and these lowly courtesies, mane, this bowing and humble salutations, original text, might fire the blood of ordinary men. Mane, must warm the blood of ordinary men, might inflame the pride of ordinary men, and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children, and change what has been ordained and decreed from the beginning, like the rules made by the children. So children, they may keep on making rules and they keep on breaking rules. So my rules are not as feeble as that of the rules made by the children. My rules are not as feeble, weak, and baseless like the rules made by the children. The children keep on making rules and break those rules very often, but I am neither to make any rules so easily, not to break them so easily. So, this bowing and humble salutations might inflame the pride of ordinary men. Original text I guess this crouchings and this lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men, and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children, and make what is predestined and ordained by law from the beginning as liable to change like the rules made by the children. Mane, the rules that are made by the children are liable to change, মানে করা বানানোই হয়েছে চেঞ্জ হবে বলে। আমার ল কিন্তু সেইরমভাবে বানানো হয়নি। Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood. So he tells that, do not be so foolish as to think that Caesar has such false spirit. Rebel blood মানে false spirit. Be not fond মানে be not be a fool to think that, এত বোকা হয়েও না যে সিজারের স্পিরিটটা এত ফলস বলে ভাবো। bears such rebel blood মানে false spirit, to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thought from the true quality. So like the temper of fools from the stable quality it ought to have, that will be thought মানে compelled from the true quality with that which melteth fools, মানে by the use to be compelled by which persuades fools, like temper of fools from the stable qualities ought to have, মানে you can persuade the fools by compelling in this kind of ways, in numerous ways, but you will not be able to persuade a person like Julius Caesar, with that which melteth fools, mane with which you can persuade the fools. I mean sweet words, low crooked courtesies, and base spaniel fawning. So, by the use of sweet words and by your salutations on bended knees and by offering humble flattery like a dog, base spaniel fawning, mane by offering humble flattery like a dog, এইসব দিয়ে আই মিন সুইট ওয়ার্ডস মানে সুইট ওয়ার্ডস মানে কি by the use of sweet words, by your salutations on bended knees, and by offering humble flattery like a dog, এইসব করে তুমি আমাকে ভোলাতে পারবে না, that wants to be petted. তো এটা don't even expect that as a dog or a cat it loves affection and it wants uh, affection and favoritism. Don't expect that if you behave like a dog I will give you the same affection. এই যে বলছে by the use of sweet words and by your salutations on bended knees and by offering humble flattery like a dog that wants to be petted you will win my affection. Never. Thy brother by decree is banished. So your brother has been banished by law. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, fawn money to plead humbly. So if you plead on your brother's behalf, on behalf of your brother, কি করব আমি? I spurn thee like a car out of my way. I will kick you. Spurn money kick you like a car, like a dog out of my way. No Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will be satisfied. তো বলছে যে you know very well that Caesar does not do any injustice and therefore Caesar will not change the sentence of banishment in this case without any good reason. মানে Caesar neither uh, does any injustice to anybody nor does he change his sentence of punishment for without any good reason. Metellus Simbar again he is telling something on his brother's behalf. Is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repelling of my banished brother? আমার থেকে মিষ্টি গলা কি পৃথিবীতে আর কারোর আছে যে জুলিয়াস সিজারের কাছে এরকম করে ভিক্ষে চাইলে তার ভাইয়ের ব্যানিশমেন্টের সেন্টেন্স থেকে সে মুক্তি পেতে পারে? Is there no voice coming from someone of higher position than myself to carry more weight and to ask than my banished brother be allowed to return? মানে he wonders whether there is more sweeter words that can plead for his brother's banishment. মানে plead the king to save his brother from being banished. এবার ব্রুটাস, I kiss thy hand but not in flattery Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may. So this Publius Cimber is the brother of Metellus Cimber. Publius Cimber, brother of Metellus Cimber, আর কেশিয়াসকে না ব্রাদার ইন ল অফ ব্রুটাস। তো বলছে যে এবার নাও ব্রুটাস ইজ প্লিডিং সিজার টু এক্সোনারেট দ্য exonerate Publius Cimber from the banishment, from the offense he has done. See, I kiss your hand, but not in flattery. Mane Caesar, I kiss your hand. I don't want to flatter you. I wish to repeal the sentence of banishment to allow Publius Cimber to return. Repeal, please repeal the sentence. So he is also praying for Publius Cimber. His sentence should be repealed. repealed. এই যে Brutus also wants Caesar to repeal the sentence of banishment, and he also pleads Caesar to allow Publius Cimber to return to Rome. Caesar, what? Brutus? Mane Brutus, you are also asking for the repealing the sentence of banishment of Publius Cimber? Julius Caesar didn't expect this from Brutus, and this is also very ironical that within a few minutes or within a very short span of time, Julius Caesar will come to know that to what extent Brutus can go. See, Cassius, pardon Caesar, Caesar, pardon, as low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall, to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber. মানে কেশিয়াস বলছে পার্ডন সিজার সিজার পার্ডন as low as to thy foot doth Caesar fall, to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber. বলছে pardon Caesar. Now Cassius is talking. What he is telling? I beg to your pardon, I kneel as low as your foot to beg freedom for Publius Cimber. Mane all the conspirators, they are all of them. First, Metellus Cimber does this for his brother Publius Cimber. Then Brutus does it. Then Cassius also starts pleading Caesar for repealing the sentence of banishment to and to allow Publius Cimber to return. Enfranchisement mane the right to be a free citizen, mane they want Publius Cimber to be free. এই যে to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber. তাহলে two words are there. One is to repeal the sentence of Publius Cimber, sentence of banishment, and to allow Publius Cimber to return, and to beg for enfranchisement. They begged for freedom of Publius Cimber. Next, what Caesar says, let's see. I could be well moved if I were as you. So had I been a person like you people who keep on changing their mind, who keep on changing their colors like chameleon, I would have changed my mind. Actually, ironically, Caesar doesn't know that what things are going to take place soon. How these people will change their colors like chameleon. This is nothing. This is just a beginning. And that's why this speech is ironical. I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. তো বলছে যে then I could myself be persuaded by prayers, but I am constant as the northern star. I am constant like the pole star, of whose true fixed and resting quality which has no equal in heaven for remaining immovable. So pole star is a star that is constant. It does not change. It does not change its position. It is immovable. And pole star is one and only star who has no equal in heaven. All the stars keep on changing their place and position, but the position of pole star is fixed. There is no fellow in the firmament. There is no fellow in the firmament. Firmament means sky. The of those true fixed and resting quality, there is no fellow in the firmament. Money in the sky, the north star does not have another friend like him. The pole star which sailors use for their direction, northern star. And the northern star is one and the only star which is immovable. It does not change its fixed position. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. Unnumbered sparks money. The sky is painted with a countless number of stars, which are all fire and which shine brightly. They are all fire, and everyone doth shine. And but there is but one in all doth hold his place. So in the world is furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number I know but one, that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaken of motion, that I am he. Let me a little show it. Even in this, that I was constant simber should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so. তো কি বলছে, there is only one which keeps its place unchanged. কি বলছে, their skies are painted with numbered sparks. They are all fire and everyone doth shine. So the sky has a countless number of stars, and all of the stars have their own fire and they shine brightly. But there is but one in all doth hold his place. Mane, but there is only one which keeps its place unchanged. So in the world 'tis furnished well with men. So the same is the case with this world. The world is full of men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. These men are made alike with flesh and blood. Then they are all endowed with intelligence. সব মানুষই একই রক্ত মাংসে তৈরি, and they all of them have intelligence. Yet in the number I know but one. তবুও I only know one person, unchanged by any attack, keep on his course. That person remains unchanged. Even if that person is attacked, it does not change his course, not shaken by any movement. It does not change its movement, and I am that man. Yet in the number I know but one. তো একজনই আছে এতগুলোর মধ্যে, that unassailable holds in rank. মানে the that person keeps on remaining the same. It does not change its place, unshaked of motion, and that I am he, and I am that person. Let me a little show it. তো let me show you my nature to some extent. মানে একটুখানি দেখাই তোমাদেরকে আমার নেচার. Let me show you my nature to some extent. এই যে let me a little show it. Even in this, that I was constant simber should be banished. I was firm that Simba should be banished, and I continue to be firm that he should remain banished. And a constant do I too believe that this Publius Simba should be banished. I continue to remain firm in my opinion. Cinna, oh Caesar. Now Cinna is also trying to provoke him. Metila Simbar, done. Then Brutus, already done, finished his pleading. Then Cassius, he has finished his still pleading. Now Cinna doesn't make a long speech, but he was also about to start pleading, oh Caesar, and there is a dash. Dash means the person has been interrupted. Thamo, thamo. Caesar bole dilo, get back. Will you lift up the Olympus mountain? So Olympus is the name of a mountain which cannot be lifted up. तो तुमना की बार mountain can a mountain be lifted up at any cost? So it's not possible in reality. Similarly, it's not possible to plead Julius Caesar to change his opinion. He is as obdurate, as strong, as determined like the Olympus mountain. Decius, great Caesar. So Decius is also telling all this great Caesar करके Caesar, doth not Brutus bootless kneel? So does not Brutus kneel before me in vain? Casca, speak hands for me. See, Casca is stabbing Caesar. He was only the first person to stab Caesar. Probably he was only given the না না এই তো কাস্কা ইউ আর দ্য ফার্স্ট দ্যাট রেয়ার্স ইউর হ্যান্ড সিন্না কাস্কাকে বলেছিল কাস্কা তোমারই প্রথম টার্ন মারার এই যে কাস্কা ইউ উইল বি দ্য ফার্স্ট টু রেজ হ্যান্ড তো সেই জন্য কাস্কাই বলছে লেট মাই হ্যান্ড স্পিক ফর আস মানে লেট মাই হ্যান্ডস কিল সিজার সো কাস্কা স্ট্যাবস সিজার ইন দ্য নেক. He is then stabbed by several other conspirators and last by Marcus Brutus, the most faithful friend of Caesar, bosom friend of Caesar, and he is the last one to stab him. Casca starts and it is ended by Marcus Caesar. Caesar, eat too, brute. Caesar বলছে ব্রুটাস তুমিও ইট টু ব্রুট ইউ টু ব্রুটাস দেন ফল সিজার মিন্স when Brutus has only proved to be so treacherous, the most bosom friend of Caesar, then Caesar should die only. Mane Caesar is himself telling that when Brutus has become treacherous to this extent, then Caesar should die only. Dies. The senators and the people retire in confusion. So the general people, they become frightened and they go away. Cinna, liberty, freedom, tyranny is dread. Run hence, proclaim, cry it about the street. So they have committed this heinous crime and look at the way they are shouting aloud liberty, freedom, as if they have killed Caesar for liberty, for freedom. The tyrant is dead. So they are themselves giving all this, endowing Caesar with this great titles, tyrant, this, that, and this kind of names they are assigning. Means whenever people do something wrong, they must have some alibis. So these are the alibis given by the conspirators, the tyrants. Make this announcement, shout these words in the street. So run hence, proclaim, cry it about in the street. So freedom, freedom, liberty, liberty bole রাস্তায় গিয়ে চেঁচাও. Cassius, come to the common pulpits and cry out liberty, freedom and enfranchisement. Enfranchisement মানে be a free citizen. এই যে the right to be a free citizen মানে they was trying to project that to make the people free from a tyrant, as if Julius Caesar was like a tyrant like Mussolini, a tyrant like Adolf Hitler. They were portraying Caesar in that way. So, for the enfranchisement of the people, they have killed Caesar. Brutus. People and senators, be not frighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's death is paid. So, Brutus is telling that if you become over ambitious, you should die. Caesar has paid the penalty for his ambition. Caesar was ambitious and that's why he had to die. Common people and the members of Senate, do not feel frightened. Do not run away. Remain where you are. Many people are running away. They were panic stricken. They have seen a murder and they are running away, and that's why Brutus is telling common people and the members of the Senate, do not feel frightened, do not run away, remain where you are. Caesar has been paid the penalty for his ambition. Casca. Go to the pulpit, Brutus. Pulpit means parapet. Not sorry, podium, a platform to speak. And in those times in Italy, there used to be platforms, little small stages used to be there. Podium used to be there where people would stand and give their lectures, because at that time, yeah, this thing war was there. People, drama used to be projected on the stage. So it is a different time, it is a different age. In that age, this thing used to take place. Any political member or anybody of the Senate or any member of the parties, they used to stand in. The same thing is being carried uh, in today's world as well, but at that time, fixed uh, podium used to be there where people used to stand and give their speech. So Casca, go to the pulpit. Casca says, go to the pulpit, Brutus. So Brutus is the gang member. Brutus, he is telling Brutus to go to the podium and speak. Now Decius and Cassius too. Now Decius Brutus is telling Casca, ইয়ে এই ব্রুটাসকে যেতে বললো আর ডেসিয়াস ব্রুটাস কেশিয়াসকে যেতে বলছে, মানে দিজ আর টু মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্ট ক্যারেক্টার্স, ব্রুটাস অ্যান্ড কেশিয়াস, দ্য মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্ট conspirators of the whole team. And in as the play will advance, we will come to know that this Brutus and Cassius, they have also difference in their opinion. And at the end, as the play will advance in act 5, in act 4, in act 5, when the open fight is going to take place, two armies would be there of Brutus, one of Brutus and one of Cassius. Two different armies would be there. One would be fighting on foot and the other would be fighting on horse. And they will be facing the army of Mark Antony. Means Mark Antony one side, and in the other side two armies would be there. One would be led by Brutus and the other would be by Cassius. And eventually both of these are the armies of Brutus and Cassius would be defeated in the hands of Mark Antony, because Shakespeare has always shown that the true people would win and the false people, the conspirators, the evil people, they'll always face, always be finished at the end. They'll never win over, they'll never the triumph of good over evil will always be shown. So Decius is telling Cassius to go. Casca is sending Brutus for giving lecture, and Decius Brutus is sending Cassius for giving lecture. Now Brutus, where is Publius? Cinna, here quite confounded with his mutiny. Now Cinna বলছে, ব্রুটাস জিজ্ঞেস করছে পাবলিয়াস কোথায়? সিনা বলছে Here he is confused by this rebellion. So Publius has got confused by mutiny মানে rebellion, সিপাই mutiny মানে সিপাই বিদ্রোহ মানে সিপাই rebellion. So mutiny means rebellion, যুদ্ধ. So here is confused by this rebellion মানে পাবলিয়াস এইসব মারপিট যুদ্ধ খুনোখুনি দেখে ভয় পেয়ে পালিয়েছে, কনফিউজড হয়ে গিয়ে। সিন্না সিন্না এটা বললো কোয়াইট কনফাউন্ডেড উইথ দিস মিউটিনি মানে কনফাউন্ডেড মানে কনফিউজড বাই দিস রেবেলিয়ান। মেটিলাস স্ট্যান্ড ফাস্ট টুগেদার লিস্ট সাম ফ্রেন্ড অফ সিজার্স শুড চান্স। তো মেটিলাস বলছে স্ট্যান্ড ক্লোজ টুগেদার লিস্ট সাম সাপোর্টার অফ সিজার্স শুড। নাও দে আর ফ্রাইটেন্ড, দে আর apprehensive that some supporter of Caesar would come and they will create a fuss, they will retaliate because Julius Caesar has been, the assassination of Julius Caesar has taken place, and that's why they will, Caesar can't retaliate because he has already become dead. So somebody has to there to take the revenge, to avenge upon Caesar. Somebody might come, somebody might create problems. So Metellus Cimber is telling that stand closer, mane all the conspirators should stand closer, and so that the supporter of Caesar, if they turn up, they can be ignored, or we can retaliate if they come. Brutus, talk not of standing. Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person, not to no Roman else. So tell them, Publius. So Brutus is telling, do not talk of standing. There is no point in standing here. Publius, cheer up. No injury is intended to your person or to the person of any other Roman. Publius, tell the people so. So, Brutus is ordering Publius to tell the people that there is nothing to get frightened. They will not bring any harm to any Roman citizen. They have only killed Caesar, and there was reason, every reason to kill him. Caesar was about to become a tyrant, and that's why, to bring to an end of tyranny, to being scared of being apprehensive that Caesar might become a tyrant, they have killed. So no other Roman would be killed by them. So don't be afraid. And Publius, you also can be well assured that, cheer up, you can be well assured that no harm is going to take place to you people. Cassius, and leave us, Publius, list that the people rushing on us should do your aid some mischief. কি বলছে Cassius? And leave us, Publius, list the people crowding in upon us should harm you as you are old. কি বলছে? And leave us, Publius, lest the people crowding in upon us should harm you as you are old. Oh, Publius is an old person. So he is telling that don't be afraid. You are old, but still you won't be harmed. And Brutus, do so and let no man abide this deed but we the doers. তো বলছে ব্রুটাস কি বলছে, let Publius do so and let no man face the consequences of this murder except we have committed it. তো Brutus, he still has a little bit prick of conscience at times. Once we will advance towards the end of the play, we will come to know that Brutus, he doesn't want to kill Mark Antony. He has some prick of conscience. He takes all useless decisions also, for which they have to face the consequences. So Brutus বলছে যে আমরা এটা করেছি, we have committed this heinous crime. So nobody else should face the consequences other than us. আমরা যে অপরাধ করেছি আমাদেরই যেন শাস্তি হয়, বাকি মানুষের যেন কোনো ক্ষতি না হয়। Cassius, where is Antony? Now he is Cassius, he is thinking where Mark Antony is gone. Oh, Trebonius is back. Trebonius is who took away Mark Antony before Caesar's death. Trebonius fled to his house amazed. Men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run as it were doomsday. তো এমন একটা ভাবে মেন সব ছুটছে, মনে হচ্ছে যেন এটা ডুমসডে। আর মার্ক অ্যান্থনিও তার বাড়ি চলে গেছে ভয় পেয়ে গিয়ে। মেন, উইমেন অ্যান্ড চিলড্রেন স্টেয়ার, ক্রাই আউট অ্যান্ড রান অ্যাজ ইট ওয়ার ডুমসডে। Doomsday মানে হলো the day when the earth would get destroyed. So it seemed as if the men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run as if it were doomsday. Mane the earth would get destroyed. Mane they have smelt some danger. Brutus, fates, we will know your pleasures. That we shall die, we know. 'Tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon. So, Brutus, all of us want to know about our coming future days. We know that death is inevitable, but all of us wish that day of our death should be postponed as long as possible. Now, see, whenever we commit any crime, we always give some lame excuses. The same Brutus is telling that all of us would die someday. মৃত্যু অবশ্যম্ভাবী, death is inevitable. Now, we know that death is inevitable, but all of us, what all of us wish, that our death should be postponed as long as possible. যত পিছিয়ে যায় মৃত্যুর সময় ততই ভালো। তখন কাসকা বলছে, why he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death. So see, কাসকা what he is telling, how মানে these people don't have a little beat also. They are not at all sorry for their deed. What Casca is telling, that if we cut down a man's life by 20 years, we are shortening the period of getting frightened of death. Mane, if I live for another 20 years only, I'll get frightened of the fear of death. So if somebody kills me, is helping me out in a way so that I don't get frightened of death anymore. Grant that, and then is death a benefit? তো তাহলে তো if we agree that with the fact what you are telling, then that must be regarded as benefit. তো তাহলে death তো benefit. So are we Caesar's friend that have abridged his time of fearing death? Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood. So all of them are bathing their hands in Caesar's blood. Say they are so happy. In this manner, we have proved ourselves to be real companion of Caesar by shortening his life. So, we have helped Caesar by shortening his life, as otherwise would constantly have been living in the fear of death for all these years. So, if Caesar would have lived for many years, he would be frightened of death. Up to the elbows and besmear our swords. তো ওরা হচ্ছে they are bathing their hands in Caesar's blood. They are smearing their sword with Caesar's blood. See, look at they are playing, actually people smear colors of holy, and these people are smearing the red color of blood up to the elbow. So they are drenching their elbow mane hands in blood up to the elbows and smear our swords. Then walk we forth even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons over our heads, let's all cry peace, freedom and liberty. তো চলো আমরা সবাই মিলে রাস্তায় যাই আর চিৎকার করি, এই যে come together, all Roman citizens, let us wash ourselves with the blood of Caesar up to the elbow, with a bleeding down posture, and let us wet our weapons in Caesar's blood. Afterwards, we shall go together in a group to the marketplace, waving over our heads the blood-stained weapons, and declare proudly freedom, peace, liberty. তো এই ব্লাড স্টেইনড উইপনগুলো নিয়ে let us go to the street and cry liberty, liberty. দিয়ে বলছে Brutus, grant that, and then a death a benefit. So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged his time of fearing death. তো বলছে ব্রুটাস বলছে যে once you admit that মানে grant that মানে when you admit that then is death a benefit, then death, if you admit that life, if life is reduced by 20 years, it also cuts off 20 years of worrying about death. So Cassius বলল great, Cassius বলল why he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death. তো Cassius বলল যে if life is reduced by 20 years means it also cuts off 20 years of worrying about death. Similarly, Brutus, in replying to this statement of Cassius, Brutus says that grant that, and then is death a benefit. So are we, Caesar's friends, that have abridged his time of fearing death. So, bolche, once you admit this fact that then death becomes a blessing, then death a benefit. Mane, death becomes a blessing. So are we Caesar's friends? Mane, in that case, we are Caesar's well wishers that have abridged his time of fearing death. Mane, that we have, because we are actually friends in each and in its true sense. Why? Because we have shortened the time which he would otherwise have lived in the fear of death. Next, stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood. तो की बोलছে? Bend your bodies, Romans. Stoop means bend. Bend your bodies, Romans, and let us immerse our hands in Caesar's blood to the elbows, and let us dip our swords in it. And then let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth even to the marketplace and waving our red weapons over our heads. Why red weapons? Because the swords have been smeared with blood. Red weapons over our heads. Let us cry peace, freedom, and liberty. So let us go even to the marketplace while flourishing our blood-stained swords. Mean they'll keep the swords, blood-stained swords above their heads, and then they'll sway it and shout out loud. What they'll shout out? Peace, freedom, and liberty. Cassius stopped then and washed. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and ascents yet unknown? কি বলছে Cassius? Let us then bend and immerse our hands and swords in Caesar's blood. So Brutus first gave the idea, then Cassius is advancing the idea. How? He is intensifying the idea. How? Let us then bend and immerse our hands and swords in Caesar's blood. This is a noble scene in which we are participating. Imagine they are considering this to be a noble work, noble deed in which we are participating, and many look at his crudities, his cruelty. Look at the money extent of his cruelty, that he is telling that this is a noble scene in which we are participating, and many centuries afterwards it will be acted repeatedly on the stage in communities which have yet to come into existence and in languages which are at this time unknown. So he is damn sure about the fact that in coming years in many different languages, when Shakespeare has himself said in through the uh, speech of Cassius that his dramas or his plays or his things are written documents or novels or dramas are so didactic that they would be performed in different languages, even those languages which he is not aware of. For example, did Shakespeare ever know that a language like Bengali exists on this earth? He never knew. But he was damn sure that in different languages, his dramas would be performed and enacted in different places of the earth. See, that's what Cassius is telling. Stop then and stoop them and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown? মানে যেই জায়গাগুলো আমরা চিনি না, the places which are obscure or unknown to us, and the accents or languages which are not yet known to us, the this kind of the when we are participating, this dramatic performance would be performed in different places. Next, what Brutus says, let's see. How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport, that now in Pompey's bases lies along no worthier than the dust? Brutus কি বলছে, how many times shall Caesar be assassinated on the stage? How many times Caesar will be assassinated means, look at the cruelty, the graveness of the situation, that Brutus is telling how many times they are actually the conspirators are actually, they can reckon, they who doesn't know, can't even reckon the limit of their cruelty, the extent of their cruelty. How many times shall Caesar be assassinated on stage in the course of dramatic performances? See, how many times shall Caesar bleed in sport? Mane, how many times shall Caesar be assassinated on the stage? That now on Pompey's bases lies along no worthier than the dust. Ki bolche, Caesar who now lies stretched out by the side of pedestal of Pompey's statue, looking no better than the dust around him. Mane, Pompey's statue will become more important, and Caesar will be like dust around him. At present, Pompey's statue is there, and Caesar's, in future, Caesar would be around like a dust around him. Next, Cassius. So oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called, the men that gave their country liberty. So Cassius, what he is telling, as often as this tragedy shall be enacted, as often shall this band of conspirators be called the men who gave liberty to their country. So more Caesar's drama would be staged, more people would recall how the conspirators freed Rome from the clutches of a tyrant. That's what Cassius is telling, that as often the tragedy would be enacted, as often shall the band of conspirators be called by men who gave liberty to their country. So they'll also become, every time the drama would be staged, every time people will recall the great work of the conspirators, that they freed Rome from the clutches of a tyrant. Decius. What shall we force? What shall we move out? Cassius. Every man away. Brutus shall relent, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome. So, what Cassius is telling? Yes, every man should move ahead. Brutus shall lead us, and we, who has the bravest and noblest hearts in Rome, shall do honor by following him. So, Cassius is acknowledging the fact that Brutus is their leader. So Brutus will be their leader, and who has the bravest and noblest hearts in Rome, and whoever resides in Rome that has a bravest and noblest heart, he or she will follow this Brutus as their leader. Next, Brutus. Oft, who comes here, a friend of Antony's? Mane, wait a while. Who comes here? It is a friend of Antony's. Now, servant. Servant enters. Let's see what the servant says. Thus, Brutus did my master bid me kneel. Kneel mane kneel down. Had to get a washer. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, that he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus, and I honor him. Say, I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus would vouchsafe that Antony may solely come to him and be resolved how Caesar has deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrod state with all true faith. So says my master Antony. So, this servant, he is the servant of Mark Antony. He comes and what he says? Brutus, my master, ordered me to pay my request to you by nailing in this manner. So, the servant comes and tells Brutus that Mark Antony, my master, he has sent me to nail in front of you. And being prostrate, thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. So Mark Antony has told the servant that he ordered me to fall down before you in this way, and ordered me to say the following words with this prostrate before you. Brutus is noble, money. He is giving honor. Mark Antony has sent this servant to their place, giving honor to Brutus. What kind of honor is given? Brutus is noble, wise, brave, and honorable. Caesar was powerful. Now, what he tells about Caesar? See, Caesar, mane whatever Mark Antony has to say, he doesn't say with his own. Mane in his the words of Mark Antony only the servant is speaking actually. So, what Mark Antony has told about Brutus, noble, wise, valiant, and honest. And about Caesar, what he has said? Caesar was mighty, powerful, bold, royal, and loving. Say I love Brutus and I honor him. Say I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved me. Loved him. So he loved loved Brutus and honored him. On the other hand, he feared Caesar and honored him and loved him. If Brutus will watch shape with Antony, कि बोलते if Brutus grants this his favor that Antony come to him under an assurance of safety, assurance and safety, and have it explained to him as to how Caesar deserved to be killed, Mark Antony shall not love the dead Caesar as much as he shall love living Brutus, but shall faithfully follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through all the dangers of new and unaccustomed state of affairs which is to follow Caesar's death. This is the message of my master Antony has sent you. এই যে বলছে if Brutus grants this favor that Antony come to him under an assurance of safety, মানে if Brutus assures that Antony will be safe if he comes to Brutus, then Mark Antony shall not then love the dead Caesar as much as he shall love the living Brutus. Then Mark Antony will not love dead Caesar as much as he will love this living Brutus, but shall faithfully follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus, and at the same time will faithfully follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through all the dangers of new and unaccustomed state of affairs. Means Mark Antony is damn sure that Caesar is no more and there will be a lot of danger, and which is to follow Caesar's death. This is the message my master Antony has sent to you, the servant says. Now let's see what Brutus says. Thy master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him, so please him come unto this place. He'll be satisfied and by my honor depart untouched. So wait, just a moment. Now Brutus is telling that tell your master that he is wise and brave Roman. I always had this excellent opinion about him, and that's why he didn't kill uh, Mark Antony along with Julius Caesar. Tell him that if he will come to this place, matter will be explained to his satisfaction. Mane, Brutus will give all explanations why he assassinated Caesar, and I promise on my honor that he will go back unharmed. And he also promises, Brutus also promises that he will not kill Mark Antony. Servant, I'll fetch him presently. So servant goes, I'll bring him immediately, and he leaves. Brutus, I know that we shall have him well to friend. Brutus says that I know that we shall have him as a good friend. Cassius, now let's see what Cassius says. I wish we may, but yet have I a mind that fears him much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose. So Cassius says that I wish we may, but yet, yes, Cassius smells the danger. Cassius never felt safe of Mark Antony. That's why he is telling that, but yet I have a feeling which lead me to suspect him as to how he may act, and my suspicions have always proven to be uncomfortably correct. So he smells of some impending danger. Brutus, but here comes Antony. So here Antony has already arrived. Now Mark Antony. O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Means he is seeing Caesar's body for the first time. Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? সব কিছুই কি তুচ্ছ হয়ে গেছে? Has your glories, conquests, triumphs, spoils have become so trivial? Farewell thee. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. You else must be let blood. Who else is rank? If I myself, there's no hour so feat as Caesar's deaths are, nor no instrument of half that worth. No instrument of half that worth as those your swords made reach with the most noble blood of all this world. কি বলছে? O mighty Caesar, do you who stood above mankind, মানে of course Julius Caesar was not like a common masses like us, isn't it? He was the king. And so do you who stood above mankind now lie so low? এত এত একদম মাটির সাথে মিশে গেছো, শুয়ে আছো মাটিতে। হ্যাভ অল ইয়োর কনকোয়েস্ট সাকসেস triumphal entries, remember this word, into Rome, and gains in war have been reduced to the small area in which your body lies? Excellent line. Have all your conquests means he asks and comes seeing the corpse of Caesar, the dead body of Caesar. What he says, have all your conquests success? He asks whether the conquests of Julius Caesar, his success, his triumphal entries into Rome and gains in war had been reduced to the small area in which his body was lying? Mark Antony, seeing the corpse of Caesar for the first time, says that had all the conquests, success, triumphal entries into Rome, and gains in war had been reduced to the small area on which Caesar's body was lying, may you fare well. Do you know, gentlemen, that your intentions are who else might be killed or who else is of the same for the purpose than the time of Caesar's death? Nor any weapon half as suitable as those your swords would have been made rich than the blood of the noblest man in this whole world. কি বলছে? Do you know, gentlemen, that your intentions are whose else must be killed or who else is of the same status as Caesar? তোমাদের এই সিজারের মতো সেম স্টেটাসের কাউকে মারা as Caesar. Do you know, gentlemen, what your intentions are? তোমাদের ইচ্ছেটা কি? If I am the other person, there is no time more appropriate for the purpose than the time of Caesar's death, nor any weapon half as suitable as those swords which have been made rich with the blood of the noblest man in the whole world. মানে বলছে যে তোমরা কি জানো যে এই কনস্পিরেটররা তোমরা আমাকে মেরে ফেলতে পারো, এর থেকে ভালো টাইম ইউ উইল নট গেট আ বেটার টাইম দ্যান দিস when you will be able to kill me, and now your weapons are smeared with the most noble blood, and I too feel like being killed. I too wish to be killed in your hands with the same weapon that you are holding in your hand, and the weapon is smeared with the blood of Caesar. I do beseech ye, if you bear me hard. Now whilst your purpled hand do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure. So I do implore you that if you are hostile to me, and if you want to satisfy your wish now, when your blood-stained hands still smell of blood, your blood-stained hands are still smell of having still a smell of blood, and so you can kill me. If I were to live for more years, I should not find myself so inclined to die as now. If I were to live for more years, I should not find myself so inclined to die as now. Means, if I live for another, as long as I would be living on this earth, in any point of time in that particular time left in my total lifespan, I'll never feel like dying as much as I am feeling now. Even no place will please me so much, nor any means of death, as here by the side of Caesar, and to be killed by you, the best and most powerful person of our times. So, no place will be a better place, and no people will be better persons like you. No sword is more noble than this, and this sword in which with which you have killed or assassinated Caesar, and no better time would be there than this particular time. If you feel like killing me, you kindly kill me. जो बोलছে, O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all the consequences, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Farewell thee. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. তোমার মনে কি ইচ্ছে আছে জানি না. Who else must be let blood? মানে আর কে কে তোমার হাতে মরা উচিত? Who else is rank? If I myself, যদি আমায় মারার ইচ্ছে তোমাদের আছে, there is no hour so feat as Caesar's deaths are. তো এই সিজারের মৃত্যু সময় থেকে বেটার সময় কিন্তু আর নেই। নর নো ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট অফ হাফ দ্যাট ওয়ার্থ অ্যাজ ইয়োর সোর্স, মানে এর থেকে ভালো ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট মানে ইয়েটা কি বলে সোর্ডটা, no other weapon is more appropriate than this, with which you killed Caesar of half that worth as those your swords. আর্ধেকও তো কোনো জিনিসের বেশি দাম নেই. No weapon doesn't even cost half also. Then the sword with which you killed Caesar, made rich with the noble blood of this sword. So the sword has been made rich with the noble blood of Caesar. I do beseech ye, if you bear me hard, now whilst your purple hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure. So your hands have become purple with the color of blood. So I am telling you, if you want to kill me, you let better kill me now only. Live 1,000 years means if I live for another 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so apt to die. In if I live for another 1,000 years also, I'll never find it more apt to die than now. No place will please me so, no mean of death, and hereby Caesar and by you cut off the choice and master spirits of this age. তো বলছে যে no place will please me so much, nor any means of death, আর কোনো জায়গা আর কোনো means of death মানে any weapon of death or any way of death would please me so much as now, and here by the side of Caesar to be killed by you and the best, the most powerful persons of this art of our times. Best place, best weapons, best assassinators, and he wants to die in this best situations. Next, amenities, best amenities for death. Brutus, O Antony, beg not your death of us. Now, what Brutus says, let's see. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands and this our present act, you see we do. Let's yet see you but our hands, and this is the bleeding business that have done. Our hearts you see not, they are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome. As fire drives out fire, so pity, pity had done this deed on Caesar for your part, to your sword have laden points, Mark Antonia, hands and strength of malice, and our hearts of brothers' temper do receive you in with all kind love, good thoughts and reverence. কি বলছে, ও অ্যান্টনি, do not request us to kill you, although at this moment we do seem to be bloody and cruel. এই যে though we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands, as our hands are blood stained, but this is our present act, and you see we do yet see but our hands, and this is the bleeding business they have done. So you are seeing only our hands and the act of murder which they have committed. You do not see our hearts which are full of pity for Caesar. So our hearts you see not that are pitiful. You only see our bloody hands. দেখে বলছে দাঁড়াও, and pity to the general wrong of Rome, as fire dries out fire, so pity, pity মানে as fire dries out fire, so our pity for the general suffering has dried in as the pity towards Rome. মানে রোমের ব্যাপারে যতটা দুঃখ আছে, সিজারের ব্যাপারে দুঃখটা একটু কম, তাই আমরা সিজারকে মেরেছি। যেমন ফায়ার মানে মোর a little anger can be suppressed by more anger. Similarly, a little pity can win over a greater pity. So our little pity is for Caesar and the greater pity is for Rome. You have not seen our pity for the general suffering has dried in us the pity towards Caesar. So general suffering, pity for general suffering is so intensified that the pity for Caesar has become negligible. And it is this pity for the sufferings of Roman people in general that has compelled us to perform this act of murdering Caesar. So this has compelled us to murder Caesar. That has, as for you, Mark Antony, our swords sharp against Caesar have lost their edge, has lost their strength, and our hearts brotherly in disposition welcome you with all kind of love, good wishes and respect. তো কি বলছে, for your part to your sword have laid in points, for you Mark Anthony our sword so sharp against Caesar has lost their age, মানে ধার কমে গেছে তোমার জন্য, তাই আমরা তোমায় মারবো না। Shows are sharp against Caesar, যেমন মানে more fire suppresses the less fire, more pity makes the less pity subdued. Similarly, the more মানে more hatred, the sword which was so sharp in killing, so sharp at the time of killing Caesar has become very blunt. Its edge has become very blunt for killing you, so we don't want to kill you. As far as you are concerned, our arms so strong in hatred for Caesar have lost their strength. So our arms for Caesar's hatred was so strong that brotherly in disposition welcome you all kind of love, good wishes and respect. The same arms which had so much of hatred for Caesar has become, those arms are ready to welcome you with brotherly disposition, with all kind of love, good wishes and respect. This entire speech is given by Brutus. Cassius, your voice shall be strong as any man's in the disposition of new dignities. So, your opinion will be taken into account as much as anyone else's in the distribution of new offices and honors. কি বলছে, তোমার ওপিনিয়ন সব থেকে বেশি গুরুত্ব দেওয়া হবে অন্য কারোর থেকে, ইন দ্য ডিস্ট্রিবিউশন অফ new offices and honors. Means this thing Cassius is telling, just to take bring Anthony, include Anthony in their team. See what Cassius is telling, that Mark Anthony would be given, Mark Anthony's opinion would be taken into account a lot, and a distribution of new offices and dignities and honors, he would be given a lot of importance. দলে টানার জন্য কি কি করছে মার্ক অ্যান্টনিকে, কেশিয়াস বলছে। নাও ব্রুটাস, only be patient till we have appeased, যতক্ষণ না পুরো মানে only be patient till we have pacified the crowds who are out of their senses on account of fear, and then we will explain to you the reason why I loved Caesar, have thus behaved in striking a blow at him. কি বলছে ব্রুটাস, only be patient মার্ক অ্যান্থনি till we have appeased, মানে pacified the crowd, কাদেরকে, the multitude beside themselves with fear, the people who are frightened, panic stricken, and then we will deliver you the cause, and then we will explain to you the reason why I did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded, why who loved Caesar have thus behaved in striking a blow at him. Antony, I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus, will I shake with you. Next, Cassius, do I take your hand and notice this Cassius's full name hardly it has been told one or two times. Here it is one of the times, Cassius, Caius, Cassius, Cassius. Now what Mark Antony is telling, let's see. I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus, will I shake with you? Mane, he is ready to shake hand with the conspirators. First, he is ready to shake hand with Marcus Brutus. Next, Cassius, this is the place where he tells the name, and according to their rank only of being the greatest conspirators. First, Marcus Brutus, will I shake with you? Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand? Now, Decius Brutus, yours, now yours, Metellus, yours, Cinna, and my valiant Casca, yours. Though last not least in love, yours, good Trebonius. Let me read it again. First, Marcus Brutus, he says first Marcus Brutus, I'll shake your hand. Next, Caius Cassius, I'll shake yours. Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now, yours, Metellus Cimber, then yours Sina, then my brave Casca yours, though last but not the least Trebonius. So Marcus Brutus, Caius Cassius, Decius Brutus, Metellus Cimber, Cinna, Casca, Trebonius. 7 persons he has named according to the rank of the conspirators. Now he is ready to shake hand with all of them. Gentlemen, just to win their confidence, Mark Antony is making this speech. Later on, obviously, he'll go against the conspirators and he'll eventually rage a war against them. Gentlemen, all alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground. আমার পরিস্থিতি, আমি এখন এমন স্লিপারি গ্রাউন্ডে দাঁড়িয়ে আছি, এত খারাপ আমার পরিস্থিতি, আমার আর কিছু করার নেই। দ্যাট ওয়ান অফ টু ব্যাড ওয়েজ ইউ মাস্ট কনসিট মি, ইদার আ কাওয়ার্ড অর আ ফ্ল্যাটারার। আমাকে দুটো নিজেই বলে দিচ্ছে, ইউ ক্যান কনসিডার মি টু বি ইদার আ কাওয়ার্ড or a flatterer. So he is telling that he is a flatterer. He is not a coward and he'll prove that. So it's not that he didn't give hint. He said that if they want to kill him, he is ready to get killed in their hands. Next he says that he is standing on a slippery ground. He has no way out. So they can consider him to be either a coward or a flatterer. That I love thee, Caesar. Oh, it's true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death? কি বলছে, gentlemen, all I don't know what to say. My reputation with you now is on slippery ground, that you are bound to form one or two bad opinions about me. Either I am a coward or a flatterer. Then I did love you, Caesar. Oh, it's beyond doubt. এই যে বলছে my that I love thee, Caesar. Oh, it's true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, so I did love you, Caesar. Oh, it's beyond doubt. If then your spirit is now watching us, যদি তুমি তোমার স্পিরিটটা আমাদেরকে এখন দেখতে পাচ্ছে, মানে Caesar is dead. So he has become a spirit now. Oh, most nobler, it will certainly grieve you even more intensely than your own death did, to see your friend Antony coming to terms with and shaking the blood-stained hands of your enemies in the presence of your dead body. So he's telling that you, spirit of Caesar, would be more grieved, more sad to see that his dearest friend Mark Antony is shaking hand with his enemies, with the conspirators, in even when the corpse of Caesar is still there. If I had as many eyes as you have wounds, as it has been already said that all the assassinators stabbed Caesar one by one, he had some 37 or 35 wounds in his body. Later on in the drama we will come to know, and he is telling that if I had as many eyes, মানে মার্ক অ্যান্থনি বলছে যে যদি আমার এতগুলো চোখ থাকতো, যতগুলো উন্ড তোমার শরীরে আছে, if I had as many eyes as you have wounds, and if all those eyes were shedding tears as fast as your wounds are flowing with blood, মানে your if my those eyes would shed as much tears as the wounds of Caesar are oozing out blood, it would be more honorable for me than to agree to the terms of friendship with your enemies. That would have been a better option for me than to shake hands with your enemies. এই তো বলছে, then That I love thee, Caesar, oath is true. If then my thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than my death? এর থেকে বেশি তুমি ডেথের থেকেও বেশি দুঃখ পেতে যদি তোমার স্পিরিটটা দেখতে পায়, to see thy Antony making his speech, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, foe means enemy, most noble in the presence of thy corse. Has I had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds? The number of wounds which you are having in your body, if I had that many eyes in my, if I had that many eyes, I would weep as fast as your wounds are oozing blood. It would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thy enemies. That would have been better than shaking hands with thy enemies. Pardon me, Julius Caesar. Here wast thou bade brave heart, where didst here didst thou fall, and here thy hunter stand, sight in thy spoil and crimsoned in thy lethe. O world, thou wast the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. Now, like a deer struck by my princes, dost thy lie here? কি বলছে? Here you dropped dead, and here your murderer stand, marked with blood that flowed from your body and died in the stream of blood which has brought you a forgetfulness of all earthly things. The world was a domain where you roamed at like large large like a deer roams in a forest, and you were truly the source of world's vitality. You lie here as much like a deer hit by many princes. কোনো এক সময় তুমি মানে used to roam like a deer roams in the forest, and now you have been killed. And deer is the symbol of world's vitality, energy. It is considered, deer is considered to be very energetic. কি বলছে? Forgive me, Julius. Pardon me, Julius. Here wast thou brave heart. কি বলছে? Here you were brought to bay like a stag is brought to bay to face hounds. যেমন একটা স্ট্যাগ হরিণকে নিয়ে আসা হয় হাউন্ডদেরকে ফেস করার জন্য। হাউন্ড ইজ আ ওয়াইল্ড ডগ। কি বলছে এই যে, Pardon me, Julius, here wast thou bade brave heart, মানে here you were brought to bay like a stag is brought to bay to face hounds. Brave heart, thou didst thou fall, and here my hunter stand. Here only you fell down, where this hunter stand. Here you dropped dead, and your murderers stand. Hunters mane murderers, marked with the blood that flowed from you and died in that stream of blood. কি বলছে? সাইন্ড ইন দাই স্পয়েল অ্যান্ড ক্রিমসন ইন দাই লিথি। লিথি ইজ দ্য রিভার, মানে গোটা রিভারটা রক্তে ভর্তি হয়ে গেছে, কালার চেঞ্জ হয়ে গেছে। তাই বলছে ডাই। ডাই মানে কি? হেয়ার ডাই, কালার। সিমিলারলি পুরোটা মানে ব্লাডে ভর্তি হয়ে গেছে। ও ওয়ার্ল্ড, দাও ওয়াস্ট দ্য ফরেস্ট টু দিস হার্ট। কি বলছে? Here you dropped dead, and your murderer stand, marked with blood that flowed from you and died in that stream. Lithi is the name of a stream of blood which has brought you a forgetfulness of all earthly things. Means you are now forgetful of all earthly things. You can't see any earthly thing now. O world, thou wast the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. La, how like a deer shrunken, my dear, my princess, dost thou here lie? So বলছে the world was a domain where you roamed at like large a deer in a forest. You were truly the source of world's vitality. You lie here very much like a deer hit by many princes. এবার কেশিয়াস বলছে, মার্ক অ্যান্থনি, মার্ক অ্যান্থনি কথাটা বলতেই মার্ক অ্যান্থনি ইন্টারাপ্টস হিম। Anthony, pardon me, Caius Cassius, the enemies of Caesar shall say this. Then in a friend it is called modesty. So, Mark Anthony is telling that forgive me, Caius Cassius. Even the enemies of Caesar would say the same thing. And if his friend have said so, it is a modest statement from a friend instead of a glowing tribute. A very important line. Pardon me, Caius Cassius, the enemies of Caesar shall say this. Then, in a friend, it is called modesty. So, he is telling Mark Antony that, forgive me, Caius Cassius, even the enemies of Caesar are bound to say as much as I have said. If I, as his friend, have said so, it is a modest statement from a friend instead of a glowing tribute. Cassius, I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what impact mean you to have with us? Will you be picked in number of your friends, or shall we not depend on you? So Cassius is telling that I don't want to blame you for praising Caesar in this manner. Rather, I am frightened that you are what kind of thought you have got about us. I'm frightened about that. Should we include you in our group or list, or we should not? Should we rely on your cooperation, or we should not? এই যে বলছে I do not blame you for praising Caesar in this manner, but on what terms do you wish to arrive at a compromise with us? Would you like to be marked in the list of friends, or shall we continue in our course of action without relying on your cooperation? এবার মার্ক অ্যান্থনি কি বলছে দেখা যাক। Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends, am I with you all and love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous. Anthony, it was because I wish to indicate that I am one of you that Cassius, Antony. Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends, am I with you and love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons why in wherein Caesar was dangerous. So ever now Mark Antony is asking them the reason why they killed Caesar. What Mark Antony is telling, let's see. It was because I wish to indicate that I am one of you that I shook your hands. Mane to indicate that I am amongst one of you. Mane I am amongst I am in your team, or I am your friend. I shook hands with you. But my intention was diverted from the matter under the discussion towards Caesar when I happened to look at his dead body. Mane my attention got diverted from that matter when I saw Caesar's body. I am a friend to all of you. I love you all on condition that you shall, I hope, give me reason why in what you thought Caesar to be dangerous. Now, I am your friend. I love you all on a condition. And what is that condition? That you will have to give me the reason why Caesar was dangerous. Brutus, or else were this a savage spectacle. Our reason are so full of good reward regard that were you, Antony, the son of Caesar, the son of Caesar, you shall be satisfied. So Brutus, what he is telling, if you do not if we do not satisfy you giving reasons, the murder committed by us would become a wild sight. Our reasons deserve such a serious considerations that even if you stood in near a relationship with Caesar as that of son, you would feel satisfied. So Brutus is telling that they will give reason of murdering Caesar as much, বলছে we would give the reason so much, so valid that even if you are a son of Caesar, even if you were Caesar's son, you would be satisfied with the reason. Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. বলছে I was ready to shake your hands with you, but my intention was diverted when I saw Caesar's corpse in front of me. Now you'll have to give me good reasons. অ্যান্টনি যখন বললো তখন সিজার কি বলছে, এই ব্রুটাস কি বলছে, ও else were this a savage spectacle. If you do not, we do not give you satisfying reason, the murder would become a savage spectacle to you, and we will give you reasons so valid. Our reasons are so full of good regard that were you Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied. তাহলে বলছে our reasons deserve such a serious consideration that even if you stood in near a relationship, in as near a relationship to Caesar as that of a son, if you stood in as near a relationship to Caesar as that of a son, you would feel satisfied. Near na close relationship, if you stood in as close a relationship to Caesar as that of a son, you would be satisfied. Antony, that's all I seek, and I am moreover sweeter that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit as becomes a friend speak in order of his funeral. The Antony কি বললো, that is all one. In addition to that I seek your permission, that is what I want, and in addition to that I seek your permission to show Caesar's dead body in the marketplace, and as required of a friend to make in the course of the funeral ceremony a speech from platform. That's all I seek, and am moreover sweeter that I may produce his body to the marketplace. বলছে তোমার কাছ থেকে পারমিশন চাইছি, হ্যাঁ। Now he will do the needful. Mark Antony, he will take the body to the marketplace and he will ask the people, and in the course of funeral ceremony he wants to deliver a speech. He will take this Caesar's body, he will take his body to the marketplace, and in the course of funeral ceremony Mark Antony is asking for the permission of giving a speech. Now see here what we will find, again Brutus will give him permission, and Cassius will say Brutus not to give him the permission. That's what we will see. Brutus, you shall, Mark Antony. So Brutus is giving him the permission. Cassius, Brutus, a word with you. Now aside to Brutus, Brutus ke side niye giye kane kane bolche, you know not what you do not consent. So he is telling that you do not realize what you are doing, do not agree to Antony's request that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by what, by that which he will utter? So do you understand how much the people will be stirred by what he will speak to them? Brutus, by your pardon, mane excuse me, I will myself into the pulpit fast. Now Brutus is always, he has the habit of taking the taking the most important role, and that's why what he says that he wants to stand on the pulpit first, or platform first, or podium first, and he will deliver the speech, and after that he will allow Mark Antony to deliver the speech. এই যে বলছে I'll myself into the pulpit fast and show the reason of our Caesar's death, and he will give reasons, explanations for Caesar's death. What Anthony shall speak, I will protest. So whatever Antony will say, I'll protest, I'll announce against him. And that we are contented Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies, I shall advantage more than do us wrong. So what he is telling, when Anthony will speak, I'll announce that it is with our consent that he speaks with all the legitimate and lawful funeral rites. And I will announce that, মানে Brutus announce করবে যে it with our consent that he speaks, মানে Antony is speaking by taking the consent from Brutus and Cassius, and all legitimate and lawful funeral rites and ceremonies will be performed for Caesar, and they will not, it's not that they will uh, not perform the legitimate and lawful funeral rites of Caesar. They'll do everything. They will perform all legitimate, lawful funeral rites and ceremonies with pomp and show. And this is for sure do us more good than harm. So Brutus is of the opinion that first he will deliver speech, then Mark Antony will deliver speech. If Mark Antony says anything against the conspirators, they'll refute those points, and then they will perform all the legitimate and lawful funeral rites and ceremonies of Julius Caesar. Now Cassius, I know not what may fall, I like it not. So Cassius is still not agreeing with Brutus. He is still not liking the idea of Antony addressing the people. I do not know what may happen. I do not like the idea of Antonius addressing the people. Brutus, Mark Antony, here you take Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, and speak all good you can desire of Caesar, and say you don't by our permission, else hmm, hmm, else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral, and you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going after my speech is ended. So Brutus is telling Mark Antony, come here and take Caesar's body to the marketplace. You must not in your funeral speech put any blame on us. তো বডি নিয়ে যেতে পারো মার্কেট প্লেসে, আর আমাদের নামে নিন্দে করবে না। ডু নট পুট এনি ব্লেম ইন দ্য funeral speech, put any blame on us in your funeral speech, though you may speak whatever you think in praise of Caesar. We are allowing you to say whatever you feel like. মানে you may tell a lot of things in praise of Caesar, but you shouldn't blame us. You say also that you are speaking with our permission, and tell the listeners that you are speaking because we have permitted you to speak. Otherwise you shall not have any share at all in his funeral. Otherwise you will not be given, you will not be allowed to take part in his funeral. Furthermore, you shall speak only from the same pulpit as myself, and only after I have ended my speech. So another condition he gives to Mark Antony, that after Brutus finishes standing on the same pulpit, after Brutus finishes his speech, then only Mark Antony would be allowed to speak standing on that pulpit. So he gives conditions to Mark Antony. What conditions does he give? Number one, Mark Antony, come here and take Caesar's body to the marketplace. First condition, Mark Antony should not put any blame on Caesar or and the on Brutus and Cassius and rest of the conspirators. He Mark Antony number two. Mark Antony can speak whatever he thinks of in the praise of Caesar, but he is not allowed to speak without our permission. Number three, you shall if he speaks any wrong against their permission, he will not be given uh, allowed to take part in Caesar's funeral. And fourth condition is Mark Antony will give speech on standing on the same pulpit, Pulpit, only after Marcus Brutus has ended his speech. So this four condition he gives. Anthony, be it so. I do desire no more. So Anthony is telling that okay, let it be. I don't desire anything more from you. Brutus, prepare the body, then and follow us. So Brutus is telling, prepare the body for the funeral, then and follow us. Anthony, forgive me. Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of art, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art means again Anthony is telling these things to, pouring his heart out in front of Caesar's corpse. What he says, let's see. Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of art, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Oh, sorrow. Oh, to the hand that shed thy costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy. তো কি বলছে, forgive me you bloody corpse of Caesar. I am humble and gentle with these heartless murderers. You are the remains of the noblest man. Mane he is calling him the noblest man whoever lived in the course of Whoever lived in the course of ages. May disaster overtake the men whose hands have shed your precious blood. বলছে ইউ আর দ্য রিমেইনস অফ দ্য নোবেলেস্ট ম্যান, তুমি মারা গিয়েও তুমি নোবেলেস্ট ম্যান ছিলে, হু এভার লিভড ইন দ্য কোর্স অফ এজেস। ইউ আর দ্য নোবেলেস্ট ম্যান হু এভার লিভড ইন দ্য কোর্স অফ এজেস। মে ডিজাস্টার ওভারটেক দ্য মেন, তো ডিজাস্টার যেন এদেরকে শেষ করে দেয়। হুজ হ্যান্ডস হ্যাজ শেড ইয়োর প্রেশাস ব্লাড, যাদের হাতগুলো তোমায় মেরেছে। লুকিং ডাউন on your body's crimson wounds, which are like speechless mouths, gaping to appeal me to use my voice and to speak on their behalf. বলছে which like dumb mouths do ope thy rubby lips, to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. কি বলছে, forgive me you bloody corpse, Caesar, bloody corpse of Caesar, and humble and gentle with this heartless murderers. এদের কাছে আমি heartless murderers এর কাছে humble and gentle. You are the remains of the noblest man who ever lived in the course of ages. যত কোর্স অফ এজেস মানে যত যুগের মধ্যে তুমি সব থেকে নোবেলেস্ট ম্যান। May disaster overtake the men whose hands have shed your precious blood. So let disaster overtake the men whose hands have shed your precious blood. He prays to the Almighty that may disaster overtake the men whose hands have shed Caesar's precious blood. Looking down on your body's crimson wounds, which are like speechless mouths gaping to appeal to me to use my voice and to speak on their behalf, I make this prophecy. So he is now making some kind of prophecy. How is making prophecy? Let's see. My acha, looking down on your body's crimson wounds. Why crimson? Red wounds, which are like speechless mouths. The wounds is first he was comparing the wounds. He wanted, he said what he said before that, if he had as many eyes as the number of wounds of Caesar, means he is personifying the wounds several times. Is Mark Antony is personifying the wounds of Julius Caesar several times, and what he is telling, like speechless mouths gaping. Now he's comparing the wounds to speechless mouths gaping, and this is like speechless mouths. One way he is using simile, and in the other way, on the other hand, he is personifying the wounds. Appeal to me, gaping to appeal to me to use my voice and to speak on their behalf. So the wounds is comparing the wounds with the mouths, and they are speaking. ये जो gaping to appeal to me to use my voice. So it's seeming as if the wounds are using the voice of Antony and they are speaking on his behalf. I make this prophecy. Now he's going to make the prophecy. A curse shall descend upon the bodies of men. A savage civil war should rage. So he is not making prophecy. He is actually telling that what he is going to do in future, and afflict all parts of Italy. Afflict all parts of Italy. Bloodshed and destruction shall be no so common and doubtful sights so familiar that mothers shall merely smile when they see their infants cry cut to pieces with the weapons of war, and that all their pity shall be smothered by similarity with cruel deeds. বলছে যে a curse দিচ্ছে, what curse? He is prophesizing something. A curse will descend upon the bodies of men. What the curse would be? A civil war would shall rage, number one, and that war will afflict all the parts of Italy, number two. Number three, bloodshed, battles and destruction will become so common যে dreadful sights will become so familiar that কি হবে? নাম্বার 5, mothers shall merely smile when they will see their infants cut to pieces. মানে brutality, murder, war, bloodshed, confusion, disorder, death will, these kind of dreadful sights would become so familiar that mothers would merely smile when they'll see their infants cut to pieces with the weapons of war, that all their pity shall be smothered by familiarity. People will become so much familiar with this kind of heinous crimes and dreadful sights and death and bloodshed and destruction, that mothers will smile when they'll see their infants cut to pieces with weapons. Pity shall be smothered. Pity ফিটি আর থাকবেই না. Smothered by familiarity with cruel deeds. Pity will be smothered by the familiarity of cruel deeds. and that Caesar spirit roaming about for revenge will aid the Caesar's spirit will Caesar's spirit roaming about for revenge will aid. Aitken, a Greek goddess of mischief and revenge. So Caesar's spirit will be roaming about for revenge. With whom? Caesar's spirit will be roaming about with the Greek goddess of mischief and revenge. আর সেই গ্রিক গডেসটার নাম কি? এট, এট মানে ইট এট। সেই ইটের পাস্ট ফর্ম এটটা হচ্ছে ওই গডেসটার, গ্রিক গডেস অফ মিস্টিভ অ্যান্ড রিভেঞ্জের নাম। সো সিজারের স্পিরিটটা ওই এটের সাথে ঘুরবে, ভূত। Rush from hell by his side shall these regions give signal for the merciless destructions, আর they will rush out from hell, আর তার সাথে by its side shall in these regions, এই জায়গাগুলোতে give signal for merciless destruction, এই যে Caesar spirit will roam around with it and they will rush out from hell, and these regions will give signal for merciless destruction with a monarch's voice. Monarch is what? King. The king will shout out loud, havoc. So this ghost will unleash the dogs of war. So the stench of this foul murder shall rise from the corpses begging to be buried. কি বলছে? হ্যাভক মানে হ্যাভক প্লে, যত ইচ্ছে ধ্বংস হও। So this ghost will unleash the dogs of war. গোস্টগুলো ডগ অফ ওয়ারকে ছেড়ে দেবে। So that the stretch of this foul murder shall rise from the corpses. Strange from this foul murder, the corpses will rise begging to be buried. The corpses will rise and they'll beg to be buried.